Hi everyone, Rachel's asked me to come in today to talk about important skills for employability with more of a football focus, I guess, than what Hannah's discussed previously. Just a little bit about myself. My name's Jay Probert, and I bring a little bit of experience of line managing staff within the Football Association of Wales. My role there was to manage appraisal systems, but also personal development and professional development plans for staff. So identifying areas of performance and underperformance in individuals and supporting those individuals in upskilling themselves in certain areas. So today what we're going to look at is some key areas, key skills for employability. In order for us to frame this next section, what I'd like you to do is have in mind the type of job that you see yourself doing after you've graduated from this degree. So some examples may be if you're within the on the pitch side. So if you're looking for a coaching role, then you may look to be an academy coach, an age group coach. You may see yourself longer term actually directing an academy. Within the foundation, you may already be doing some casual work or some voluntary work within areas such as growing the girls' game or growing the disabled game. So you may wish to be a schools coach, going into schools. You may aspire to be a program manager, so you're actually going to be line managing those individuals going into schools and measuring the impact of programs in the community. So what I'd like you to do is just frame maybe the role that you want come the end of this course. And then I'm going to talk through some of those important skills that you will need for that job. And so I want you to try and understand how those two come together. So the first area is personal development planning. So none of us are perfect. So we need to understand our strengths and weaknesses. So first of all, you need to understand your strengths, but also those areas for development. So, and then highlighting what are you going to do to address those. Self-management, so the areas such as time management and making sure that you project yourself in the right way. Okay. Self-reflection, I think self-reflection links to that first point that we talked about, personal development planning. You've got to have a clear understanding of self and understand those areas for development. Then with self-reflection and the areas that you're going to explore within other modules on this course, critically analyse certain incidents that happen. You may have heard the phrase, it's okay to make a mistake, but don't make the same mistake twice. So learning by your actions. Personal responsibility and commitment. So actually giving yourself to the chosen task, and that applies to your studies, but also within a working environment. Linked to study skills. So again, upskilling yourself to be the best individual that you can be. Don't just wait for those opportunities to land on your lap. You may be waiting for Blackboard announcements to come in about courses that may be delivered, and you'd be sitting back and waiting for things to happen. Can you take a more proactive approach and go and seek those opportunities, go and do those extracurricular courses in order for you to upskill and plug those gaps in your personal development? And career planning. It's not as easy as just setting a target and achieving that. You'll take many different twists and turns to get to that place where you want to be. But it is certainly great to have a goal and how you're going to get there, and put incremental, realistic steps on how you're going to achieve that goal. Ultimately, you should be looking to your left and your right within your classroom right now, because these guys are the people who are going to be competing for these jobs come the end of this course. So what are you going to do to make yourself better than that person to the left or right of you? So don't leave it until the end of the course. Start now. Be proactive. Take a proactive approach. Identify those areas in which you can develop, and then identify courses or ways that you can develop yourself. So that may be going on a course. It may be identifying a mentor within your existing environment or within your coaching environment and drawing on the expertise of that individual to support you being the best that you can be. So we touched on the previous slide about those areas that you need to take a proactive approach. Just to give you a flavour, there are going to be over 500 students within this university undertaking football degrees this year. So those 500 students are going to be coming out of their degrees looking to gain a job. So there aren't going to be over 500 jobs when they all graduate in sport on their doorsteps. So what are you going to do to make yourself better than that person next to you, to gain that job when you graduate? Well, you need to gain a competitive edge. So what else can you offer to the employer as opposed to that person next to you? Now that might be on paper, it might be a course that you've attended, but it might be experience. And if you ask any employer, certainly within the football industry, what do they value over knowledge or experience? And yes, I'm sure in many roles within football industry, they'd like you to have a coaching qualification, such as a level 2 or a level 3. However, they're looking just as much about experience. So they'll look at how much experience you've got outside of your studies. So that demonstrates to the employer, well, actually, this individual has gone above and beyond what's been asked of them. So it can really demonstrate you taking a proactive approach. So it links on nicely to the consider volunteering, taking on additional roles. So it makes the employer understand that you're not just doing what you're told to do. There's no better time to start planning than right now. You may think, well, I've got until the end of the degree, so I'll just sit back, I'll make sure I do my coursework, and I'll get it done come the end of the degree. Start now. We have some fantastic proactive students who already come into the course with over 200 hours of voluntary experience, and they've got recognised certificates to tell us that. So they're taking a very proactive approach, and they're already 2, 3, 4 years ahead of some of our other students. Which one are you? Are you taking that proactive approach? I hope you are. The value of networking within the football environment is most pertinent. You'll get many employees who coach both in the foundations but also in the academy environment. So you may be working alongside or studying alongside someone who's coaching an academy that can create or open up a network of opportunities for yourself. So it's vitally important that you tap into that as much as you can. And use of online tools such as LinkedIn, which will allow you to create different networks and connections with individuals right across the sporting sector outside of your local geography. What I'd like you to do now is this a short YouTube video which identifies the top 10 skills that employers look for in graduates. So don't just take my word for it as somebody who's worked in the industry. Have a look at this YouTube clip and identify those skills that you currently do have, which is great. Don't just put those to one side, but how can you do those better? But also those skills that you like to have or you'd like to develop in yourself further. Okay? So I just want you to take a look and identify those skills that you currently do have and want to develop further, and those skills that you think you can develop even more so, and scribe those down on a piece of paper for me. Okay, off you go.